FX Nation, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And in this video guys, we're going to take a look at some of the daily setups that we had today, Wednesday, during the US session. All right, so we're going to break these down here for you so you can get a better understanding as to why they happened. And then we'll also take a look at possibly what possible moves we could get for Thursday. All right guys, so without further ado, let's get this started. All right guys, so let's talk about first the actual setups that were there this morning, Wednesday, for the New York session. All right, so let's start off with Euro Pound. We're going to take pretty much a look at most of the pound pairs and the Euro pair. So Euro Pound. So Euro Pound gave us a type 1 setup here during the US session. You can see right here we had basically price worked its way down during the London session, and we almost pinned here the 200. So we had that first leg there, came up, came down for the second leg, but it wasn't ready yet until we got into the US session here. So you can see that the little dot there, that's when you had the 5 and 13 crossover. We typically go ahead and we actually wait for the next candle to get a pullback, and that's exactly what ended up happening here, was this pullback here. So this trade essentially looks like this right here, like this. You don't even have to go all the way up, of course. We just typically do 30 pips. But you can see 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, and literally there is no drawdown on that trade. So total though, I mean, it went all the way up to about 45 pips or so, depending on what your spread was. But very nice and clear, decisive type 1 pattern right out of the New York session. All right, so obviously if Euro pounded that, then the other pound pairs did the complete opposite, which is basically go down. So same thing, type 1 setup, pound USD. Here is the crossover on this candle, and on this one we didn't get any kind of a pullback. So this ended up going all the way down, well over 30 pips. This was about close to 70 pips on this particular trade here. And again, no drawdown, just straight down in one direction. You were basically out of the trade in like 3 or 4 candles. Okay, so very nice and easy trade, very nice and clear trade on the pound USD, Euro pound, pound CAD, same thing. I mean, it was like all the pound pairs did all the exact same move, at least the ones that we looked at. Here is the entry candle here. The crossover happened on this candle. You get a nice little pullback here, and essentially, literally in like 3 candles, you're out of the trade. Well over 30 pips. This is, I mean, 73 pips. I mean, so there's definitely plenty of money that was made today on these pound pairs. Pound JPY, same thing. I mean, it's just the gift that keeps on giving. Just pick your poison on which one you wanted. Again, pullback on pound JPY, and I mean, there was no drawdown at all. Well over 70 pips on most of these pound pairs easily was had today. Pound CHF, same thing. I mean, this one was even better looking. I think for the best setups out of all of them were Euro Pound, Pound JPY, Pound CHF, because the way that they looked and the way that they were clearly compared to to the other ones here. So you can see clearly had just a very nice type 1 setups on these pound pairs. But on pound Swiss, same thing here. Your entry candle is right here where this dot is. You had a very nice pullback all the way almost up, so you got a very good entry on this. And I mean, you can see 55, 57 pips on this particular trade. So very nice, very very good trade set up there. The last one here was Euro JPY. This one actually happened late into the session, around 10:45, but still very nice setup here. This ended up being a type 3 actually in the US session. You could see that price during London here moved up and it got stopped pretty much dead on its tracks in the middle of the range, and it stood there for a good 2.5 hours almost, just moving sideways, collecting as many traders as possible, and then we finally got a move here right at 10:45 candle. And so this trade was a very good trade. We got about 30 pips out of this trade. It was about total of what, 41 pips or so, but 30 pips easily was done on this trade. Very interesting that during the London session it looked like you had a type 1 here. The problem was that by the time you'd entered the trade you were already way too far out, and you're pretty close, only 12 pips away from the middle of the range, and that's not what you were looking for anyways, because where you were in the cycle. So let's talk about that now. On this Euro JPY, you can see basically that from the previous week where we started where we had a market maker cycle the last week, it continued on into Tuesday, and then pretty much had the midweek reversal here, and then this became at the very top peak formation high, and then this was level 1. So tomorrow you should be looking for sells again. So as this develops here, so let's play this out real quick. As this develops right now into the Asian range, I mean, you're pretty much doing level 2 right now, consolidation. So I'd be looking for a some kind of a sell setup here, either a type 2 or a type 1 setup to sell is what I would be looking for on Euro JPY on Thursday. All right. On the pound pairs are very interesting. Let's look at Euro Pound first. Euro Pound is at the very top. If we look at the 4-hour chart, you can see that the Euro Pound on a 4-hour chart is basically at level 1. All right. So you have this entire thing as peak formation high here, and then you have the move, and then it's been here at level 1 for a while now, right? So very interesting part is that you could see we've basically made it all the way to the very top. Okay, we made it to the very top here of that range that it's been on since April 5th or so. So one of two things we would expect, since we are at level 1 here, we would expect to sell, right? So that's what we were looking for. That's what we're expecting. But keep in mind that if this, for any reason, breaks 88600, that area here, you can see that there's nothing here. There's nothing but wide open space. So there's nothing here for this to stop it from going high, all right, or from going extremely high. All the way up, I mean, well over 200 pips. So we're expecting this to be a sell during Thursday's session. So what we're looking at here basically is this being the midweek reversal, this high here that it made being the midweek reversal. Okay, so I would expect to see some type of a setup here, maybe a type 1 or a type 2 setup to basically sell is what I would want to see. That doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but that's what I would want to see here is a sell setup. So that way, basically this finishes off a market maker cycle where you had 2 days of rise here straight, and then this created the peak high of the week, and then you have basically Thursday, Friday straight down moves or sell-offs basically. So if that's what's going to essentially happen on Euro Pound, essentially Pound USD, you can expect the opposite to happen, right? So you can pretty much see we've been trending down here for quite a while now. We had three levels drop here, and then this right here became a peak at the very top here. You can see we've had 1 and then 2 and then this will be the third level here. So if this all matches together with euro pound, we should be looking for a buy setup on this. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but that's what I would be looking for on it. All right, and that would basically match and go with essentially what's going on in the higher time frames, because you can see on the 4-hour chart on pound USD, same thing. This is a low, a peak formation low here, went up to one level. So you're expecting buys, okay, to go up. And so you can see it's at the very, very bottom right here, just like euro pound is at the very top. So hopefully we can get some kind of a movement now coming up and going for buys. But that's what I would be looking for. If this for any reason, by the way, breaks these lows here, I mean, you can see that there's nothing but open space, obviously, for this to go down for quite a while, just like there's nothing but open space to go for euro pound to go up if it breaks that point. So very important point would be this level here, to make sure that it keeps it, call it, 122,000. All right, so if it stays above that level, we should see rise happening on pound USD at some point here. So on euro JPY, we'd be looking for more sells, as obviously this right here be peak formation high, high of the week, and then we just had a drop here, so level 1 drop. We're expecting level 2 here today during Thursday, and then hopefully we can get a setup to sell on euro JPY. If you guys need any more help, we have a new class starting on June 8th. All the information is down on the link below. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great rest of your night.